It was raining pretty hard about an hour ago.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's straight line winds almost and dark swirling clouds. It was kind of bright and sunny and then went dark. And then it seems a little brighter now.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not my computer system, so I don't know what it is.
But yeah. Last time I looked at the Weather Channel, we should be enough to clear at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you came. So this is working, Betty, as far as we know?
Well, I was having trouble, yes, this is working.
Okay.
I was using this one, I was having better luck
Okay,
with it.
all right.
Um,
Let's see, this isn't working.
Here.
Yeah. If you could go into that, I'll compare this one. Come on, there we go. Oh,
Whoops.
you're fine.
Switch, here we go. I don't think I got that on there right. Well, did I still do something wrong? Obviously, I did. I don't. Okay, let me try this one again. It's like this is.
Yeah, she's been getting both of those fits recently.
Okay, I'll let you try.
Well, I was wondering if something's going on, because I know they had to send,
Cap lock's still on.
yeah,
It's supposed to be for that, or that's how he has it here.
yeah.
It's in all caps.
So I know they were having problems in the courts, and they had to bring some people down to another room down here, too.
Yeah.
So, we'll see, capital P. Oops, I know. R, and it's
We
number
can't get-
1, and then
and
an
then-
exclamation mark. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll sign on mine.
Okay.
That'll at least get us on. I should have left it on there. Whoops.
While we're waiting for the technical issues to be solved, I'd like to give each one of you a copy of our poster, our flyer, and a reminder ticket for the free concert on Friday. Friday of the fair. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Don't want to
I
caps
don't
lock.
have to go
It's
divvying
hard to
everything
tell
out
that
for
it
you, so.
is on. There we go. Let me try again.
You're good. I'll just slide one over.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. What's it say?
Thanks. Maybe passwords are correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay, see.
Try again.
Computers are such wonder.
Yes.
I'm getting ready to apologize for being a problem children.
There.
All right. So where's your little, should come up. There's so much there.
Well, if you, when you plug it in.
You plug it in again, so, yeah.
And then it'll come up out.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can go to the.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should come up. There.
There we go. And
PowerPoint, the best one.
The first
There's
one?
the Shawnee County presentation, the third one down.
third one down, thank you.
And then there's a PowerPoint, see if that comes out. That
Um,
doesn't work, the third one down.
Third one down, huh? then that just enlarges it down here, right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Take it from there, thank you. Make sure I get this. Okay.
All right, we're rolling again.
We're rolling.
And this is the 11 o'clock budget presentation for the Shawnee County Fair. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name's Shirley Schultz, and I'm current president of the Shawnee County Fair. With me today, I've got our secretary, Jason Schultz, and our treasurer, Cricket Johnston. And we want to give you the request, which is a fairly simple one, and we'll get to that. I want to share a little bit about the fair quickly.
Good.
So for over 100 years, we've been a pretty unique community event here in Shawnee County. And we try to work with several community groups and children, the youth in the county, to give them a meeting place to share their ideas, their passions, and try to interest others in their particular interests. We have several community and sponsored events from, we started last year a children's concert, which was very well received and attended. And so this year we're bringing in the Walking on the Moon presentation for the 50th anniversary of going to the moon. We have sponsored events such as Farm Bureau Association, who brings in the pedal tractor pull, which is the county qualifier to go to the state fair. And I won't go through all these, but one of the things that we have found recently doing some promotion on Facebook is the Perotsky's pickle eating contest. There's a lot of smack talk going on Facebook about that. So Perotsky's is very excited about what may happen this year. He's even threatening to make the pickles much hotter. Our big partner, though, is with 4-H and the youth in Shawnee County. This is a qualifier for them to take their projects to the next level. They don't compete against each other, but they compete on a standardized things about how well they do. And based on that, the judges will, if they win a purple ribbon, in some cases even a blue, that will qualify them to go compete at the state fair. So it's a very important event for these kids. Now, this year, we're requesting the same funding. As you know, last year we came in and at the time, the Expo Center had looked at what they've been charging us for rent and said, you know, you're not on par with everybody else, so we're going to raise your rent. And so we came very concerned because we weren't sure what was going to happen. And you guys very graciously increased our budget for that year. We've been very lucky this year. They did not follow through with that. They did do a raise to us, but it was more for personnel increases in law enforcement time and so forth like that. So we're just requesting if we could maintain the same funding that we received last year for this year, especially as, no, I'll get to that. Anyway, with the same funding, we believe if we increase our vendor membership numbers, increase sponsorships, and reduce expenses, we should be able to continue providing the fair as we do now. And hoping, we're trying to build the community aspect of it, because 4-H is such a big part of it. Our major unknown is they're looking at doubling the space in the exhibition hall, and so we don't know, and they haven't discussed with us what that increase in fees is going to be. They've told us there will be one like they did last year, but we don't know yet what we're facing. So we're hoping with the money we've tried to be good stewards of over the last year, plus this year, that we'll be able to handle whatever fee they might throw at us. That's our hope. If not, we'll be asking for money next year. So that brings, and then the other thing we have is this last year we did enter in partnership with the Community Resources Council, so we can offer a 501c3 to people who might be interested in sponsoring us. At a high level, you'll notice 2019 is not on this particular slide, and the reason for that is that it's in flux, and so I wanted to give you better numbers than what we have going in and out. So in 2018, at high level, you can see where the money that we get is spent and where we're expecting it to go next year. So we're staying pretty much the same percentages. Now, the General Fair Board expenses are a large portion of that, but I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that it's 75 to 76% of that goes straight to the event center for rental of the area for the horse show, for the livestock show, and everything else that we do. Now, in the 4-H specific category, these are the various things that we are spending the money on. You'll find it's fairly evenly split between the fees that we pay our judges, whether they are taking the fee home themselves, or if they're donating that money straight to 4-H for their time. And then the costs that we put out for the kids for the premiums, for the first, second, and third place ribbons they win, as well as the purchase of those ribbons themselves. Let's see, community specific, our cash prizes, we keep fairly reasonable. We only have a few classifications that actually have cash prizes. The rest are just ribbons that we hand out for those. And then open class judging fees, $20, not even big enough to show up on our chart. And then the rest of it's entertainment. Now, the entertainment is not just the concert. It's things like bringing in the petting zoo. And let's see, I'm trying to think of the other one off the top of my head. There's some others. It used to be the mutton busting, but the Musty Mutton Company has closed that we've been going with, and the next closest one's Nevada, and they charge mileage to bring those in. We did talk to the American Royal, because they were in the same boat we were. They are looking into putting on their own, but until they figure out the kinks, they weren't thinking that was something they wanted to be able to share to anybody else. So we'll contact them again next year to see if they're prepared and if we can bring that event back, because we have heard from the community, and there's several very disappointed people that we weren't able to find a replacement for the mutton busting company we used. Fair Board General, as you see, most of it is building expenses between the Stormont Event Center and some off-sites that we use for various judging, like Lowman United Methodist for the clothing judging that goes on a week before the fair actually happens. And then the next biggest category is actually the insurance we have for the fair. Let's see. So we have been trying to do some reduction in cost in that we have several very talented board members. And so some of those people have done the graphic design work for the posters you see and the flyers that you have. And then this year, we not only did the community flyers in English, but because of our partnership with 501c3, or with Community Resources Center, they actually had someone on staff who was willing to translate it into a Spanish version. So we've been getting that out in the community as well. Reason we did go ahead and make the expense to join with Community Resource Center was because the most cited reason for people denying us sponsoring for us is that we weren't able to provide that to them. So we spent the last year trying to figure out how we're going to work with CRC and how we can actually incorporate that and maybe get more sponsors this next year, since we have a better understanding now. And then the other thing we do, and they've done it for several years, is a quite large donation for Family Fun Night. We kind of looked at back at that. We don't want to remove sponsoring them because it is just a 4-H event for the 4-H'er and their sponsors, for the livestock buyers. We did decide that we wanted to reduce that because of the budgetary constraints we have, and because we're supposed to be for the entire community, not just the 4-H group. So we're going to support them, but we felt that this was the time to do that. And we're also trying to move them from a fair events council or fair events committee to a 4-H events committee, because we figure the 4-H'ers are going to know better what they want out there, and we're still providing the location for them to have that. Now, you may not be aware of the makeup of the fair, and we've been trying to get new members. We're supposed to have representation from each of the different townships. Currently, we have 3 members from Monmouth, Silver Lake, and Topeka, and the at-large are filled by Topeka and Monmouth. We're trying to find more representation so the entire county's out there. We are not having a lot of luck, so we are trying to get the word out, and if you know of anybody in the various areas that would be interested, please send them our way. We would be more than willing to have more minds come in on this and more ideas. Now, one of the biggest questions we get is, when we're not talking about, is we have a fair, and some people confuse it as think it's just the 4-H fair, and so we're trying to make sure people know that the community is involved with this as well. And so these are some of the various advertising methodologies we've used this year. We partnered with, I'm trying to think of the name, the limited, sorry.
LRC,
Local Resources Media. And so they do some of the, like Ren Radio, Metro Voice, Social Butterflies from Kansas are heavily involved with that. And then we've got a sign up front of Stormont Vale Event Center promoting it. And then we also went with the group that manages 94.5 Country. And so this year, not only are we promoting the fair, but we're also promoting the horse show, trying to get people to realize that there is a horse show involved with the fair, even though it's not the same week as the fair. So that's some of what we're doing. And we did heavily hit social media this last couple months. And when it says reach over there, these are the numbers I pulled on Sunday. Reach means that the post has gone across someone's screen on Facebook. So we're approaching the 100,000 people mark of getting the information out. And that's not just in the Topeka area, it's hitting Lawrence. There's even some from Missouri and the surrounding areas. The biggest one is a new event that we're trying to do, and it's weather-based, so we're really praying for good weather on Thursday. We do have a member in the 4-H group that is involved with the Greater Plains Hot Air Balloon Society. So they're going to try to bring a hot air balloon and do a night glow Thursday night of the fair. And as you can see, that's garnered about 54,000 crossing their pages, and there's several thousand have marked interested or going. The next one is, of course, the Perovsky's pickle eating contest. We're trying to figure out, normally we have about 12 people sign up. It looks like we may actually have to run heats this year if they all show up to do that. So we think we're getting the word out. Another new one I do want to mention is the Hands on Horses. The horses committee from the 4-H group came and said, you know, we don't really have a presence at the fair, and so we want to feel invested. So is there something we can do during the regular fair time? So they're going to bring about 4 of their horses in so the community can come in and see the horses at the fair. They mentioned something about chalk, so we may have some decorated horses at the fair. But the community will be able to, while they're there, if they don't go to the horse show, get up a little closer to the horses than they might otherwise. And that has gotten quite the response on Facebook as well. The other new one is we were approached by a lady who does pageants. Now, this is not a beauty pageant by any means. It is a confidence pageant. So we have Mr. and Miss Land of Kansas that we're going to do. And it's not makeup, it's not fancy dress, it's how well you present yourself, how well you talk, to try to build confidence in some of these kids growing up. And it is just for K through 8th grade, because we did not want to compete with the King and Queen of 4-H. So we kept those age separate. So in conclusion, we're requesting the same budget from last year. We're trying to reduce costs by maintaining quality by utilizing more of the volunteers' skills that we have on hand. We're trying to recruit numbers to increase county representation and bolster our numbers, because we are, like I said, down to 6 people at the moment, and it gets very hard to run that size of an event with as few numbers as we do have. And we all do work full-time jobs beyond this. The major unknown is we don't know what the new fee is going to be for the rental of the exhibition hall. And we're providing a healthy education family experience for all the Shawnee County residents and beyond. So I'd like to thank you for your time. Do you have any questions that we can try to answer?
Well, first of all, nice presentation.
Oh, well, thank you.
Very well done, and that's helpful for me. Commissioner Cook?
Just looking at how will the renovations to the Landon Arena and the exhibition hall, are they going to affect you this year, or are we planning for next year?
Yes, matter of fact, it's kind of flip-flopped on us a few times, so we've had a few stressful moments, to put it least about the exhibition hall specifically. They did come to us last week and said, with the construction schedules, it looks like you're going to lose 17 feet off the north wall and maybe 60 feet of it, but plan for the entire length of the north wall. So we have changed the layout a little bit for this year. We were hoping not to have to do that since it's going to be such a big change next year.
Right.
But we did get the basic draw out to the superintendents, the 4-H agent, to email that out yesterday. And I'm going to attend the superintendent's meeting tomorrow night. So if they have any questions, I'll take the heat for it and see what we can do. But overall, we still have everything in place. They have the same sort of stuff. We just had to move areas around.
Sure.
So,
I know that there's a member of your board that attends the Expo Center
Yes.
Advisory Board.
yes, she wasn't able to attend today.
It's been very, I think it's been very nice to have her attend. That way she gets up to speed on that. That's helpful to make sure that we have everybody, all our partners on board.
Barbara Coltis has been a great help that way. I am sad to announce that she did submit her resignation as of August 31st
Oh.
due to family issues going on. She did let us know that in a couple of years, when her kids are more settled in college, that she's interested in coming back.
Yeah.
But she is going to stay with us through the fair and help us get all that to run smoothly for us.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, that's a great relief. I was worried for a minute when I saw the email come across.
Well, but when she leaves, it would be good to have somebody else come and fill the
Yes.
spot. And so,
Yes.
Again, just having, as we do the renovations to the event center.
We're trying to keep up on that as much as we can. I will say that we do have a young gentleman in his 20s who is checking out the fair this year. He's going to come volunteer, and he has expressed an interest in joining and helping work with us. We also have a 4-H alumni who is, I approached her, she's getting her master's in history. And so I approached her, would you be interested in doing some research on the Shawnee County Fair and what that's been for the county? And maybe posting on Facebook and our website. So, because there's one site on Facebook that is pretty negative because we can't bring in the carnival anymore, and they are very vocal about it. So she approached her, and she was very interested because she's all about history. And so we're going to start having more posts about what the fair's been to the county and what the fair's still doing for the county. And I was talking to her last night, and she's very interested in, if this goes smoothly for her, she might step up and join the board as well. And then we have a new member to the community who reached out to us. She is a pastry chef out of Oklahoma who's moving to the area. And she wrote and said, do you guys have any culinary competitions at the fair? I said, a few. And so she's interested in maybe checking out volunteering and maybe beefing up that aspect of the fair, having maybe some cooking or cake decorating demonstrations, food safety demonstrations being done on the public stage. We're working with her and see if she follows through and continues to be interested.
That's very good.
So we're trying to get some of those people more interested. I'd like to try to get some other people, maybe with more ethnicity backgrounds, because we do tend to be fairly level, I would say, in one certain area. And I'd like to get more variety on the board with interests and ideas that may not be reflected in the members that are already currently there. And not just ethnicity, but there's a particular 4-H alumni who also has some mobility issues, and we don't have a representation of someone with special needs on the board. And I'd like to get him to consider coming back. I got a post from him out of the blue, nope, not interested. And I'm like, about what? And he's like, I know you're going to ask me about the fair board again. So I'm slowly working on him. But if there was anybody else with those particular challenges, that would be a wonderful asset to the fair. And we would more than be willing to welcome them with open arms. It's just finding the people who have an interest to do it.
Very good. Thank you.
Commissioner Rippon?
Yeah, do you know what events are going on at the event center at the same time as the fair?
Let's see, is it a gun show that's going on during the horse show?
There's a gun show the same weekend in Exhibition Hall. They're running an Exhibition Hall while we're running in the livestock pavilion.
And that's the only one I'm aware of at the moment. I don't know if there's anything going on up at Ag Hall. I need to go refresh my memory on that.
After we complete the renovations and we have larger space, do you think you'll be able to fill that with more vendors and increase your revenue then?
That's my hope. It really is. We have quite, on our vendor thing right now, we do have quite a few that are community project interests, such as the Topeka Gem Mineral Society, that are coming in and doing demonstrations about their crafts and things. I really would like to get more vendors out. And I think it's mostly because they don't think we have enough foot traffic, has been what we've been told about, and that comes back to, oh, we have a fair. So hopefully as we beef those numbers of people coming in, they see that we're actually there beyond just the hay bales that go out on Topeka Boulevard. maybe that will bring more people in, and the vendors will say, oh, there's actually people going, so it's worth our time to come in and try to sell our wares.
I know in the past, we've had quite a bit of discussions about if the Fair Association would use Ag Hall instead of Landon Arena, the cost would be fairly significant to the Fair Association, a reduced cost. But the concern was if you've got kids that are trying to get from Ag Hall down to Domer Arena, that's quite a ways for them to go when you're talking about kids that may be, 14 or younger, 10, 12-year-olds, trying to get from there all the way back down and around. And so the convenience of Landon Arena back and forth has been a big determinant.
Yeah, it has been. We did approach 4-H about that, and that's exactly what they came back and said. They would not be in favor of
Right.
us moving that for those reasons.
Ag Hall.
Plus, it's only about $200 actually.
Ag Hall is also significantly smaller than Exhibition Hall. And we have, even with the full spread of Exhibition Hall as we have now, we have an interesting time getting everything that we want to show in the space that we have. So for us to move from Exhibition Hall to Ag Hall, we'd end up moving a lot of things outside, which given, especially with small animals in the heat, would prove detrimental.
Yeah, in Landon, what we do have on Friday mornings is the first 2 parts of the dog show, and then the second 2 parts run on Saturday morning, and they are constantly being encouraged along, is a good way to put it, by the pedal tractor pull, because both events are fairly well attended and take up a lot of space, and being able to contain those dogs so if for some reason they have a bad day and take off, they're controlled within Landon Arena, that larger area, versus maybe out in the neighborhood where they could get hit by a car or something. And the same with the kids, because the kids are very excited about the pedal tractor pull, and a lot of community kids show up for that as well. At the same time on Saturday, we're also running the 4-H pancake feed and exchange fundraiser as well. So that arena is very full on Saturday morning, and Saturday night, it is full with the Family 4-H Fun Night activity that they have for their livestock buyers and sponsors, which, by the way, you are definitely all invited to if they have not already sent you something. So there's food and fun and games that are going on. And my understanding is they're bringing in the K-State swingers dance group again for some dancing going on and training. And that was really appreciated last year, is my understanding. I was at the info desk, so I didn't get to go in there.
That was
But
awesome. I couldn't believe what they did.
Cool.
Like,
Commissioners, come out Saturday morning, I'll mix you up some pancakes with, Mr. Perkins and I will be flipping pancakes Saturday morning,
There you go.
Bob will make yours up special.
Good.
And the big thing we are doing is you'll notice on the poster is the concert. We did receive requests to bring Rusty Ryerson back this year for a second year. And he, if you don't know, is a chart topper in country music in Europe. And he's a Kansas resident, so he's coming back for a second year, thankfully. And then we changed out our opener this year. We're bringing in a group called Beauty and the McBeast, which is an acoustic group out of Kansas City that play a wide range of music from jazz to country to pop to classic rock. And so that will be quite a broad range of music interests to start the concert out before we roll into more of the country genre that Rusty Ryerson handles. And we're attempting to change the format of how we have the table set up for the concert to be more like what some of the high schoolers have done with the stage in center with them more wrapped around. So the stage would face towards the east so that more people have the chance to be up close in front and have a better viewing of the person on stage. So we're trying to make that large event more intimate for the people attending. We do have the American Legion who contacted us and wants to put up some flags for the veterans coming in and requested a couple tables, which we're going to gladly provide for them to be a little closer up to the stage so they can participate as well. So that was kind of nice that they reached out.
Betty, did you have?
I had another question. Sorry. What was the issue with the carnival?
The carnival, what we found out, because we've heard several rumors over the years as to why the carnival stopped coming. When we asked the event center last year about it, they said, well, they've entered into a contract with the carnival that comes out in May, and they're not allowed to have anyone else come in except for that particular one within, I think it was 3 months or 4 months, something like that. And by the time that we found that out, they're always booked. And so we haven't been able to get them to come back within that same time frame. So we're constrained by what the event center has already done. We'd like to get them back. As the Fair Board, we've had internal discussions. It's a timing and working with the event center to get that to happen.
Another part of it is even if even if we could get them to come back within that time frame, the carnivals go on big loops, big tours. And the carnival that Expo Center has the contract with is clear to the other side of the country by the time the time comes around for our fair. So even if we could, if they had the opening, it'd be really difficult to get them to come back.
Yeah, we did look into some other carnivals and then approached Event Center about it last year. I'm still trying to make the switch. Event Center last year, and that's when we found out that they had this exclusive contract with the one that comes in May for graduations. So we're trying, that's all we can say.
Do you see any other potential for revenue, other than the vendors and the
Trying to
sponsor?
find ends and somebody to talk to say, hey, would you like to come out and do this? We do have one particular one that we talked to earlier this year. I don't want to give out names at this point, but they did say come talk to us in September, and they might be interested in maybe sponsoring a large portion of the concert, which means we might be bringing even a bigger entertainer. And so we'll see how that goes. See if we have the right name for the right person to talk to. If you guys know of anybody we can approach, we'll more than gladly take names and try to approach them.
We're also dealing with, actually, I started selling Norwex this year.
Oh, yes.
And so, as being on the Fair Board, I partnered with one of my other consultants so that she can watch the table while I'm busy with the Fair Board stuff. And when we read the contract for the vendors, we had to step back for a second, because if we comply with what's on the contract, we have to have a 1 million policy to attend. And as a small contractor, you know, we can't afford that. That's like $200 to $300 a year. And so I think I'm wanting to get with legal, and I've been working a lot of overtime. I work at Rasmussen College, and it's been very busy lately. Trying to get with the legal to find out, can we do something for just our local entrepreneurs so that they don't have to have that for the fair. I think we'd get a lot more people to volunteer to come in and pay for that. Whereas, you know, the big name places, you know, like Rolex, they are there every year. They're a big business and they can afford that. That's part of their company.
Cost of
But
doing
as
business.
Yeah.
cost of doing business. It's not for, you know, someone selling Tupperware, Pampered Chef, Scentsy,
Right.
you name it. And I'm wondering if there's something we can do to accommodate these people.
We were approached by the food trucks we just recently, they backed out because they looked at the cost of insurance and they went, that's insurance that we spend typically for the entire year, and it's just for one event. So we're, like Cricket said, we're trying to find out what avenues we have available to us.
Very good. Again, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for asking the budget that you did. That's appreciated. So we have our next budget hearing at 1 o'clock. It's the courts and the drug court. So we're adjourned until then. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
It's the counselor at 1 o'clock.
Switch. Counselor's office, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, counselor and the courts, I think Jane switched them.
Oh, is it?
I think it's
Okay.
counselor at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
so we switched with,
Thank you for, yes, thank you
I'm so
very much for
sorry
working with all that.
Well, and I'm so sorry for I don't know where it got lost
Yeah.
in cyberspace or it got stopped by our firewall, who knows?
Especially with the PDFs and stuff that can happen, because I'm in IT with health and
Oh, okay,
environment, so.
you know.
She's our talented person. She did the presentation,
nice.
the
This was
great. Thank you very
posters,
much.
the
It just
tickets,
helps us
everything.
understand, and
Yeah, I wondered, Cricket, when she reviewed it, she goes, it's like a